Okay, so if you're serious about fitness, you've heard this a million times, right? Consistency is key.
Oh, absolutely. It's the golden rule.
You show up, you put in the work, and for a while, it feels amazing. The gains are easy, everything is improving.
For the first few months, yeah.
But then maybe 6 months in, maybe a year, you hit a wall. You're still consistent, you're still working hard, but you are just stuck.
And that experience, that feeling of being stuck on a plateau, that is almost universal.
Right.
And that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive today. The material a listener shared with us confirms that consistency has this overlooked partner, a non-negotiable partner.
And that is variation.
Exactly.
It's so easy to fall into a rut, isn't it? You find a few exercises you like, you get your circuit down.
It becomes a comfort zone.
Yeah, but our mission for this deep dive is to show you, based on these findings, that this predictability is actually the enemy of your progress.
That's it. So if you're feeling stale, if your progress is slowed down, the problem probably isn't your commitment, it's the lack of a changing stimulus.
So we're going to unpack the science behind keeping your body guessing.
We are. Everything from the molecular response in your muscles all the way to the long-term cognitive benefits. This is about shifting from just working hard to what? To working smart.
Okay, let's start with the basics then. What the material calls the adaptation trap. It makes sense, right? Early on, gains feel easy because the body is, I think the phrase was, incredibly adaptable.
It's a survival machine.
Yeah.
When you introduce something new, a new movement or a heavier load, the body basically panics a little bit.
It has to scramble to figure it out.
Right. It has to reorganize its nervous system, its muscular systems, just to cope. And that initial reorganization, that's where you see those rapid gains.
Your strength just shoots up.
But here's the trap. The better your body gets at coping with that one specific task,
The less hard it has to work.
exactly. It finds the most efficient, energy-saving way to do that one thing you keep asking it to do. Same reps, same weights, same movements.
So the body adapts a little too well. It becomes so efficient that it essentially stops trying to improve.
That's the plateau. Progress just grinds to a halt because the stimulus, the reason to change, is gone.
You're asking the same question over and over, so you're just getting the same answer back.
You got it.
I know.
To force new growth, you have to force the body into a new learning environment.
Which brings us to this fascinating concept from the material, muscle confusion. Now, I want to be clear. This doesn't mean just doing random things every day, right?
No, that's a really critical point.
But
It's not about chaos. It's about strategic variation.
Okay, break that down.
Well, continuous improvement is only stimulated when you're constantly challenging the muscles. And that's not just with more weight in the same lift. It's with, new exercises, different angles, changing the intensity levels.
So you're forcing your nervous system to sort of relearn the pathways.
Precisely. Think about switching from a heavy back squat one week to, say, a heavy set of lunges the next. You're changing the stability demands, the angle, the whole motor recruitment pattern. The body can't just go on autopilot.
That seems like a really fine line, though. If I'm always changing things to keep my muscles confused, am I sacrificing my form? Am I going to risk never really mastering any single lift?
That's a great question, and it's a common misunderstanding. Variation doesn't mean you abandon your core lifts. The sources suggest structured variation.
So not chaos.
Not at all. For example, you might master the deadlift, but then you could vary your grip for a few weeks, or your stance, or just the rep range.
So you're forcing these little micro-adaptations without throwing out the whole movement.
You are. You layer the variation on top of the consistency. So you might stick with a program for, say, 4 to 6 weeks, and then switch the main exercises. It's purposeful disruption.
That makes so much more sense. It's about keeping the system on high alert.
Absolutely. And that ongoing need for the body to reorganize and rebuild, that is what drives long-term results.
Okay, so that's the muscle growth side.
Right.
But variation has this other huge role, which is about keeping you healthy, right? Just staying in the game. Injury prevention.
This is maybe the most compelling reason for anyone to start varying their workouts immediately.
Really?
Think about it. Repetitive motion is the root cause of almost all non-traumatic sports injuries.
Like repetitive strain.
Exactly. When you do the same motion, day in and day out, you are putting chronic stress on the exact same muscles, the same tendons, even the same surfaces inside your joints.
It's like bending a paperclip back and forth in the same spot. Eventually, the weakest link is just gonna snap.
That's the perfect analogy. Whether it's a knee from running the same route or a shoulder from the same bench press angle, Variation is your primary defense against those overuse injuries.
Because you're spreading the load around.
You're distributing the workload, you give certain joints a little break while others are working.
And the material really highlighted that this isn't just about switching out the big lifts. It's also about adding in exercises for those small, forgotten stabilizing muscles.
Yes, that is the core of building a resilient body. We all love to train the big movers, the chest, the back, the quads.
The mirror muscles.
The mirror muscles, yeah.
Yeah.
But we neglect the smaller ones responsible for keeping our joints stable and tracking properly.
So things like single leg work or rotational movements.
Exactly. By doing that, you're actively building up your weak spots. You're making sure your support structure is strong enough to handle the big lifts, which massively reduces your chance of getting sidelined.
So variation builds a stronger body from the inside out. Okay, let's pivot from prevention to maximization. It also helps you get more comprehensive results, not just getting good at one thing.
If you only do one type of training, let's say bodybuilding, you might build incredible muscle, but your cardio health could be terrible.
Or the reverse. You could be a great long-distance runner, but have very little upper body strength or power.
And the material points out this is because different exercises target different muscle groups, sure, but they also target different energy systems.
For our learner audience, can you break that down quickly? What does that mean?
Of course. So to keep it simple, your body has broadly two energy systems.
Yeah.
You've got your anaerobic systems, which fuel short, explosive, high-intensity stuff.
Like a heavy lift or a sprint.
Right. And then you have the aerobic system, which is for sustained, lower-intensity work, like a long jog.
And if you only train one, the other one gets left behind.
Completely. So a truly comprehensive routine has to incorporate both strength training and cardio. That's how you promote muscle growth, fat loss, and cardiovascular health all at once.
You're not just strong. You're strong and durable, and you have endurance.
And that combination,
Yeah.
that is true, well-rounded fitness.
Okay, that clarifies so much. Let's shift gears now, though, from the body to the brain, because variation is just as critical for our mental game.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the psychological side of this is so often ignored. Let's face it, repetitive routines are dull.
They're boring. Yeah. Humans crave novelty. Even the most dedicated person is going to lose motivation when every single gym session is a carbon copy of the last.
And the research is clear on this. Variation is the cure for that fitness fatigue.
Yeah.
It brings back excitement. You know, maybe you try a rock climbing class or you start messing with kettlebells.
Or you just use a different machine at the gym you've always walked past.
Anything to keep it fresh, that novelty, that enjoyment, that's what keeps you in it for the long haul.
But it's deeper than just beating boredom, isn't it? The connection to the mind.
Oh, much deeper. When you challenge yourself with a new exercise, you're not just moving a weight, you're starting a whole new motor learning sequence in your brain.
Your problem solving.
You are. Mastering a complex new movement, like an Olympic lift or a tricky yoga pose, isn't just a physical skill.
Wait, so that's a cognitive workout too.
It's a huge cognitive workout. The material suggests this mental stimulation actually improves focus, concentration, even overall cognitive function. You're literally forcing your brain to build new neural pathways.
Wow. It's a remarkable feedback loop. A more complex workout gives you a sharper mind.
It's a total two-for-one deal. You're optimizing your body and your brain at the same time.
Okay, so let's bring this all home and look at the ultimate payoff, long-term adaptability. Because life outside the gym is, well, it's anything but predictable.
The listener's source material summed this up perfectly. It said, life is unpredictable, and your fitness routine should reflect that. If you've only trained your body to do one perfect movement in a controlled setting, you're just not prepared for the real world.
We've all seen that person, right? Someone who can squat a ton of weight, but, they can't handle a surprise slip on some ice or play a pickup game of basketball without pulling something.
Because that lack of variability in their training leaves these huge gaps in their functional strength.
Right.
By exposing your body to a whole range of movements, carrying, throwing, rotating, jumping, long periods of aerobic work, you're building the physical competence to handle whatever life throws at you.
The sources had some great real-world examples for this, like being able to hike a tough, uneven trail for hours.
Or having the endurance for a charity run you decide to do last minute.
Or just having the stability and power to play a game with your kids without getting injured. A varied routine prepares you for a dynamic life.
So to synthesize this whole deep dive, Variation is really the engine of your progress. It stops the adaptation trap.
Through muscle confusion?
It makes fitness more enjoyable by keeping it new. It dramatically cuts your risk of overuse injuries.
And it makes sure you're getting well-rounded results by training all your energy systems.
Plus, it keeps your mind sharp. And maybe most importantly, it builds that long-term adaptability you need for a robust, active life.
The power of strategically varying your workouts. It really can't be overstated. If you want to keep adapting and progressing, you have to keep changing the challenge. But before we sign off, let's leave you with one final thought, something to chew on this week.
We just talked about how learning new physical skills, new exercises, actually enhances your focus and cognitive function. It's like muscle confusion for your brain.
Yeah.
So, think about this. What routine in your professional life or in your daily habits or even how you learn might be stuck on a plateau?
That's a great question.
How could you introduce some strategic variation there?
Yeah.
A new angle, a different approach, something to stimulate fresh neural pathways and maximize your mental growth?
Where do you need a little dose of muscle confusion for your mind? A great thought to end on. That's all for this deep dive into the indispensable power of variation in fitness. In the meantime, let's roar.